Well, let's get into it because John Calipari, Rob, the news broke over the weekend that he is going to, he's taking a 5-year deal now to coach at Arkansas. Remember, there was talk he might get fired by Kentucky, but they decided to retain him. And now he is on his way to Arkansas. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's nice to put a bow on it, and it's great. He's going to Arkansas, and he's got this 5-year deal or whatever. No, they made it clear, Chris, that he wasn't. They weren't happy with what has gone on at Kentucky of late, and that's why he sought to go find him another job to spare the embarrassment. Who walks away? They owed him $33 million, Chris, which he forfeited. What would be your reason, Chris, if everything is good, right, and they made it public that they were keeping him? Didn't they have a statement, right?
Yep.
That don't even make sense. To go to Arkansas, really? And to take a pay cut. It's not a small one, but he took a pay cut. Right. There's no way, Chris, this is him being proactive. They didn't have to say they didn't want you. They made you feel like you weren't wanted enough to where you're like, I got to get out of here. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure the hostility from the fans, they're sick of it. What did they get knocked out in the first round the last 3 years?
And in the first round,
First round, Chris.
2 of the last 3.
Who'd they lose to? Yale? Was it Yale?
They lost. No, this year it was. Who was it, Roger? It was. It wasn't Yale. Gosh, who was it?
I just forgot the school.
Yeah.
But not a strong.
No, it was a bad. Yeah, it was a much lower program.
Right. So Kentucky.
Oakland, that's right.
Oh, Oakland. I'm sorry. My God.
Not
right.
Oakland, California.
Right. Oakland County, Chris, outside of Detroit.
And last year they lost in the second round. And the year before that, they lost the 15th seeded St. Peter's.
There you go. And Kentucky now, Chris, ready, has won one NCAA tournament game and just one SEC tournament game since 2019. That's 5 years under Calipari. Over the last 4 years, they've been eliminated in the first round by a 14 seed, then eliminated by a second round, like you talked about, and by a third seed, been eliminated in the first round by a 15th seed, and missed the tournament altogether. That's what's been going on here. You can't sit here and tell me that this was your doing and you just decided to move on because you got a better deal in Arkansas. No. They didn't want you at Kentucky. This is a nice spin. It feels good. You don't think Arkansas wants it? Because to me, Musselman just left, Chris, to go to USC.
Right.
So why didn't he just go to USC? And Musselman could have stayed at Arkansas. Really, you're replacing Musselman and went to USC? That ain't a promotion to me.
I agree. No, it's not a promotion, but I agree with what you've said. But I also think, Rob, and we said it when, we were discussing whether or not he should be fired. I exactly what I thought would happen happened. Remember, I said they should fire him, but because he's got $33 million guaranteed, I don't think they will. But
they did enough to force him, they
didn't have to do nothing. He knew how toxic it was, Rob. It was toxic. It was bad last year. The fans. I mean, I'm guessing administration was bad too after this, debacle in this year's tournament. But the fans were so bad last year, Rob, that John Calipari knew that if he went back there, it was going to be ugly. Because it was ugly last year. And I actually think, yeah, he basically, he wasn't wanted in Kentucky by the fans. Administration was stuck with that money. They probably didn't want him. But I think this works out, Rob, for all three parties involved. Calipari, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Calipari, because, again, it was going to be incredibly ugly in Lexington next year. And then it works out for Kentucky because they didn't want him, but they were stuck with him because of the money, and now they've been able to move on and don't have to pay him anything. And then Arkansas, Rob, because Musselman is a good coach. This year they struggled, but he done a pretty good job there. But they're kind of, they've been okay, pretty good. They're in the top 20 most years. But Calipari is on a different level. For all his flaws, and we've talked about Rob, great recruiter.
Oh, yeah.
Not a great game coach. All his flaws, he's still on a level as far as fame, as far as accomplishments, and certainly as far as recruiting than Musselman is. And so now, Rob, Arkansas gets a shot in the arm. Like, for their program, and even him coming off these losses and all of that, Rob, for their program, this is a boost.
Oh, there's no,
you know what I mean?
There's no doubt.
You're getting attention, so I think it works out.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. They for Arkansas, this is good for them.
Yep.
But if you think anything's going to change or he's going to go down there and win a championship, I don't see that happening. But they don't care. It's a higher profile.
If he gets them, I agree. I'm not even thinking championship right now. Could it happen? Sure. It'll be interesting, Rob, to see, does he get the level and caliber of recruits that he was getting at Kentucky and that he was getting at Memphis before? Because he was connected to Worldwide West. Worldwide West now works for the Knicks. And so is that pipeline still going to be there to help Cal get some of these players? And so I don't know. He's still gotten great players at Kentucky. And will he keep that same? I think he will, Rob. Like, will he keep the same approach? I'm going out and get the one and dones, the best high school players in the country. I'm getting them all. Or will he try to, get guys that'll stay 3-4 years, Rob? He talked about that after their loss. I think it was kind of just lip service.
Yeah.
I think he'll go for the big, the big time players.
If you're trying to win big, you normally need those players. Like, that's nice to see.
But now it's kind of changing.
Right.
I mean, you like UConn, their biggest NBA prospect is a freshman who's not their best player this year.
Yeah, but
he's the most talented.
Yeah,
Purdue has no huge NBA prospects. I mean, Edey,
But you still, if you have a player like, and we know, we talk about it all the time, Carmelo Anthony or someone of that ilk that comes along with you, Chris, they can ride you to a championship. Like, they can, because they're so much better than everybody else. But I hear you. The game has changed a lot. And what has happened is trying to get a cohesive unit together, right, where the other team's been playing for 3 years and their guys are older than you.
Right,
older. And it makes
smarter,
a difference. There's a big difference between
understand their system
18
better.
and 19 and 22. I mean, it just is.
Well, it's interesting when you say that, Rob, because I agree, but it really shows you. We were talking the other day, remember, about the one and done. And, what's fair is that guys could come out of high school, right, and go, if they're good enough to play in the NBA or get drafted, then they should be able to go right to the NBA. But what's best for the game would actually be if these guys stayed a little longer in college and matured. And, Rob, the fact that guys that will get drafted in the lottery in the first, after 1 year of college, as far as college players, really aren't better, or let's put it this way, can't beat third or juniors and seniors and maybe fifth-year seniors who aren't going to get anywhere near the NBA. I mean, think about that. That should tell you the level of play in the NBA to some degree. Is that you got so many of these young, talented wonderkins, but they really don't know how to play yet. And so it's an interesting dynamic. But, yeah, we'll see how you think you do. I think you'll do well. I don't know. Like you said, I'm not even thinking championship at this
I'm
point.
not even. I
mean, he might luck into one if he gets, he gets some superstar recruits. But
I think Kentucky
he'll make them put him on the map.
the right thing. Like make it so that he had to get out of there. And you're right, Chris. The fans had enough.
Oh gosh,
They were really it
was gonna be ugly, Rob.
Yeah, and he was smart. He didn't want to be in that atmosphere, and you don't want to be. Remember, you live in that town, Chris, right? Can't go to the store. Can't go to the grocery store. Can't. Your wife is being badgered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your kids in school. Like there becomes a thing where you got to get out of Dodge. And it's too hot, and no one. It's not like when you won the championship and you're walking around town, Chris, and everybody wants to buy you a beer. Now everybody's booing
a great point
and
too.
saying like, "Hey, you stink." You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, Cal, and I don't know that he could have, that he didn't mind it, but even if he could handle it, Rob, what about your wife
and your kids?
She can't, and I don't know if his kids are, if they're still in the home or anything.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is, but.
But I mean, your wife, Rob, like that's hard on the wife, and so and it was hard on him too, I'm sure, but it definitely would be hard on your family.